We go again. One more time. And like I said, even if I don't got it this time, I still got a PB today, so I'll worry about the potential nature of LSB kind of horribly nuking my run in a giant ball of fire at a later time. With how well segments have gone today and just the overall runs I've been getting, like, I got 3 runs to Halloweentown, and 2 of them have unfortunately ended the same way. But it's like, I know just yesterday, even like, despite the ISP nonsense, like I was having some pretty rough times getting runs started, and today's been the opposite of that, so I mean, I feel like I've played pretty well today, regardless, so I can't be disappointed. Just, LSB is the worst, dude. I hate that fight. There's a part of me that wishes that's the fight that we could remove from this run, and I'll take my losses with Genie on Behemoth, or the shenanigans that might happen at Final Rest, or just something along those lines, because I swear, dude, LSB is like, I feel like it's the #1 run killer of this category for me. Most runs that make it to that fight usually die there. Maybe not most, but like a lot more than they should, anyway. Yo, Dustin, what's up, my dude? Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Have an idea for casual streams? I'm interested. Would you play P3 sometime since it's more widely available now? I'm gonna play P4G first. And I'm probably likely to play the FES version of 3 instead of P3P. Because I think more people have recommended that if I can get... If I can find a way to get my hands on it anyway. Like, I think people said P3P is fine, but FES would be a better first experience. Especially if I'm coming from 5 and 4 to 3. Like, 3 will definitely happen, I'm just not 100% certain on the version I'm playing. But I will probably try to play FES if possible. Ow. But I guess, E3P being available on Steam now, that's fine. Even if it is not necessarily a lot of people's recommendation on things. Yeah, I was kind of swinging for the fences there on that finisher. Don't know why I thought that would work. Thank you for the good luck, Vidax. Mindset is so much better these days. Yeah. Life has changed my mindset on a bunch of stuff over time. Yo, Ninten, thank you very much for the raid, my dude. Hope Stram was good, fam, and all that. Nice to see you again, my guy. I hope things have been well for you. And thank you very much for the good luck as well. Nice to see you. Yo, Dutch, thank you for the good luck, man. Okay, not too bad. Yo, ass, what's up? All runs tonight? I PB'd by 30 seconds and got a 209 flat. Because as you all know, I'm the flat guy. I think I've probably gotten more flat times with KH PBs than any other person on the planet, and today is no different. That being said, 30-second PB is nice, and I'll take that. Just a shame I couldn't go 1 second faster. Yo, banter. I can catch you. Hang on just a second. Reading chat and trying to not fall off trees during platforming is rather difficult. I can catch us around 7 AM here. Hope the runs have been good to you. Very good. Not only have I gotten PB today by 30 seconds, I've also best segmented a decent bit of stuff. So yeah, runs have been excellent today. Unfortunately, LSB has prevented me from getting any more runs to the late game since my PB, because I PB'd first run of the day. But I don't really care that much because I already improved with with my time. So if I don't get any more runs to the end, that's okay. Yeah, I am an ironing board. do coach streams where you tell a filthy casual how to complete a run and it's a complete meme. You know, I actually had one idea in my head. I was like, maybe I should get my dad on stream one day and coach him through a beginner any % run of this. And it would be like the funniest shit ever because he doesn't even play games. Like that's something I've considered, and I think he said he wouldn't mind it, but oh my god, it would be a fucking train wreck of a stream. We'll see, maybe someday that'll happen, but that's what that message reminded me of. We'll figure it out, maybe. But yeah, maybe that is an idea for a stream. I could definitely do that, and that's exactly where my mind went initially. You gotta see how those speedrun genetics passed on. You guys don't actually know this, but he's an even better Kingdom Hearts 1 player than I am. He found Lady Luck when the game first came out without using a guide. That's pretty impressive. Like, he's truly where I got all my smarts from. Because looking back, as a kid, I never would have figured that out, and I don't know how the fuck he did that. It was crazy shit. You want to join in and have Dean coach you? That sounds like a really fun get-together stream. Maybe we'll do it someday. I know there's like a... I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's like... I've seen the thing where Simply, the Mario 64 guy, like tries to do a 120 star run versus like 5 other people who are nowhere near as experienced as him. It could be like a stream like similar to that, where it's like we're coaching people and maybe having some mulligans and whatever the fuck to make it a little bit more fair, and just have an absolute chaotic race on our hands between like one runner who's like very well versed across the board, and then like 3 or 4 other people who are not as well versed but have general knowledge and have decent times. And see which one actually ends up on top. That's been something that's been in my mind with what we can do with potentially other KH-related stuff. Because I think it's a really cool concept. It's like a 1v5, except the 5 have like a slight advantage, but the 1 is like super good at the game. Can you push the rock? Can you smell what the rock is cooking? Coconut manipulation RNG. And by coconut manipulation RNG, I mean I push the rock in such a way that they don't show up. As you can clearly see right here. Well, this Destiny Islands ain't looking so good. Ooh, I got bottle skip. Nice. That's something I very rarely see that. Where you get like the forward animation before she's done talking. Yes, Bottle Skip has rectified the horrible coconut and rock RNG, because yes, Sora not being able to push a rock another inch is actually RNG, it's not me being impatient and screwing up. The gross Sora crouch thing on the raft Dean found? I'm not familiar. Is it like a super cursed image of Sora looking like a crab or something because of how his weird janky leg physics can be sometimes? Oh my god, because I've seen that happen on Tiger Head or Cave of Wonders or Oogie Manor, and I didn't know you could actually do that on the raft. So I think I have a good idea what you're talking about, and it's so gross to look at, yeah. Yeah, Bottle Skip is a nice little freebie of time save if it shows up, but I don't know. I've never really cared to obsess about it just because it's so minute anyway, but it's just like, oh hey, cool. I advanced the text boxes perfectly, or whatever the hell the requirement is, so I get like a tiny bit of time save there. It's especially nice when you're running beginner mode, when like every single split second makes a big difference. But over here running level 1, I'm just like, oh cool. Now let's just not horribly mess up Dark Side 2 and fail the quick kill, because that's a lot more important types of stuff, but... I will be back to the beginner mode grind at some point. there's a part of me that also kind of misses that high intensity, like every single second mattering type of shit. I'm lucky that finisher connected. Yo, Double Dewey, what up, my dude? Thank you very much for the good luck. I hope we're doing well. Twitch plays KH1 in the chat. I remembered we did chat percent where I only had audio to rely on, and I had to use you guys as my eyes basically, and that took about 24 hours to finish a beginner any percent playthrough. That was pretty fun. I'm never going to do that again, probably, but it was fun. Dude, Oogie Manor took like 3 hours. I don't even know how to describe the torment that fucking boss fight was. Holy shit. Oh my god. What a blunder. Hit me. I think that's 5. I hopefully remember how to count. How'd my last run go? How the run before that went, which unfortunately was LSB killed my hopes and dreams. Yeah, that's 2 runs today where they said no. Oh, absolutely, Egg. That's something I say I can't wait for, but I mean I don't want to grow old yet. It is an inevitability of life, of course, but that is a day that I do yearn for when the time comes for it. I know, Ames, it's so trash. Oh, that's reassuring to hear that in regular Proud they're also a nightmare. I suppose there really isn't too much of a difference with that. It's like, God, dude. I don't remember them really being that problematic on regular Proud. Like, I feel like there's something, not to say that they're good on Proud by any means, of course, but it's like, on level 1, there's like an extra circle of hell just for this specific circumstance that I just cannot seem to grasp. And most people can't seem to either, because I'm not alone, at least, in thinking that LSB is like Satan's spawn. It is unironically, and I will probably preach this every day of my life, multiple times a day, whenever I'm running this game. There's, most days, I feel like if there's one fight I could remove from the run, it would be that. This is including Final Rest existing, RNG with Genie existing, and a bunch of other stuff. That had, because that stuff has been less of a problem than LSB has, even in just the last few days I've been back to this game. It's so bad. I don't know, I don't understand how it can be so bad, but it is. It's like that one fight you just absolutely dread getting to. Which, I mean, I guess to be fair, there's multiple fights that you dread getting to, but... At least I feel like I am in more control for other stuff. Like, Final Rest, despite Angel Star Wave being kind of all over the place, majority of that fight is within your grasp, and I can understand when that doesn't go right, and you make mistakes. LSB is just like, you pray to God they don't go to, like, all 4 corners of the universe. And they stay in one place for a majority of the time until at least 1 or 2 of them are gone, and then it just becomes an easy fight to keep track of. But goddamn, dude. I really don't understand how LSB can be such a monstrous fight in its own right. And then we have Doofus over here throwing the ether. Well, Power Wilds are not going to be good this run. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, Manor is especially brutal. It really tests your ability to keep track of hits. And especially your party members' hits, and what's it called? The fires you can also parry back into the globs. Normally, I'm not really big on the whole scan would make stuff that much easier for level 1, but that fight is absolutely an exception, because it's very... chaotic, just in the sense of you don't really know how the fire is gonna behave on any given fight. Thankfully, for the most part, it is controllable if you're paying attention, but it's just one of those things, man, where the improvisation and having to account for extra damage, you just need a lot of experience with it and before you get really comfortable with it, and even then, some silly stuff can still happen. Like, I got sniped by a fire on one run the other day, and that kind of ended that, so... But yeah, LSB, I don't know. I feel like that's just gonna be always one of those fights where it can go to one extreme or the other, and unfortunately one of those extremes is just dead run outright. That's what I mean, like, it has been a decent bit since I played regular Proud, so I'm a little bit hazy on that. But I just know for certainty in just a few days of being back, yeah, level 1 LSB is a nightmare. Yeah, I remember Hook being a pretty awful fight when I was grinding Proud Mode on PC last year. Standard is a lot less bullshit because you don't die in 2 hits to just random shit flying your way from the battleship and all that. One thing I really don't like about Proud Mode is the Oogie 1 fight, where if you don't get dice parry or dice reflect, you really want to go for another attempt, but you probably didn't get dice reflect because you got hit from the dice. And because it's really awkward to set up another distance thing, hitting the dice back, you can sometimes just have the dice like gently roll into you and that counts as a second hit and that kills you in Proud Mode, and that's so fucking obnoxious. Like, I really just... There are some fights I usually don't have much of a disdain for, but given the right circumstances, they are just utter trash. Like, thankfully, level 1 doesn't have dice reflect and all that, and in beginner and standard mode, you don't really have much to worry about if you don't get the initial dice reflect, and, you know, all that good stuff, but... I can't think of a much sillier way to die, or many more silly ways to die in Proud Mode than the dice just, like, gently rolling into you. Yo, Banter, thank you so much for the 6 months, I appreciate that. Welcome back to the Mist Continent, and enjoy the emotes you can use on Twitch for the next 30 days still. I greatly appreciate that, and congrats on your Aqua Wayfinder badge, looking snazzy. I hope you've been well. Yo, Rooks, what's up, my guy? Sorry if I botched that. I've kind of forgotten how some people's names have been pronounced, and they've been nice in correcting me, so hopefully that wasn't too bad. But it's nice to see you again as well. How's everything been? Short, TLDR, 2022 was an awful year for me. 23 has been much better so far to start off with, and I'm in a much better place now. So things in the current present, very good. And I hope the same for you, my dude. Yeah, it's really funny. In, like, you know, not in, like, that's hilarious kind of way, but just very interesting. I feel like in a lot of instances, not even just in KH1, but in KH in general with speedrunning, it's always the non-main target that's the problem in a fight, if there happens to be extra enemies alongside the boss. Like, my mind goes to Hayabusa in the Shan Yu fight always being annoying, like the bird that flies around in that fight in KH2. And the battleship kind of has like that same energy to it. Like, if the battleship just wasn't in that fight, Hook would be a very consistent and a pretty technical fight that's actually very interesting. Like, pretty much just universally, but the battleship just kind of comes along and, you know, has to ruin everything. How do you know that bird's name? I was bored one day. I don't really have much of an explanation besides that. Which I actually don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I think so. It's just the name I remembered hearing after looking stuff up. Like, I think they have ways of mitigating Hayabusa from not being too problematic now. But I just remember when I ran KH1, or when I ran KH1, when I ran KH2 to some extent, and I did Shanyu, like especially on critical mode, because I'm not as good at 2 as I am with KH1. That bird would drive me up a fucking tree sometimes with how annoying it was. You're setting up everything, he's going into the next phase where he charges you, you parry with Valor Form or whatever your strats might be given the run. And then Hayabusa just has to like attack you, aerial recovery to like quickly get back into the fight, and then Shenyu's already done his charge by the time it's too late. A lot of bad memories associated with that. Battleship kind of reminds me of the same thing. Like, it's fine if you work it out and it isn't really too problematic, although I think the Battleship in nature is probably worse, because as far as I recall, Hayabusa, you can get a certain distance between, or like set it so that you can have him attack you and then move out of the way, and that resolves that issue. Your only real bet, in level 1 at least, is stopping the ship when it's nearby, when it's about to charge you. And aside from beginner in level 1, I don't know if we really use stop that much. Maybe we do? I'm not too familiar with how modern, standard, and regular proud strats are, but you can sometimes get lucky and stop the ship while you're stopping hook in beginner and level 1. It's made me realize how many things in KH are actually just a touch and go with certain battle strategies. Like, don't get me wrong, there's definitely consistency in a lot of fights, and an exact way to do several things, but there's also those moments in combat where you can sometimes, if you understand the fight pretty well, you can almost improv something that normally doesn't come up, and actually do the fight that way, and in some cases it might even be a bit of a better alternative than what the traditional strat might be that's more consistent. Like, it might be a little bit more adventurous, dangerous, or whatever the fuck, but it is ultimately a method you can go about doing something. And sometimes it is actually the better thing to do in that circumstance. Yo, Sedona, what's up, my dude? Yo, Dreed, what up, man? Has been a hot minute. I've, been through a lot of ups and downs. 2022 was a pretty awful year, once the hiatus started, but 23 has been very good so far. Thank you for asking. I hope, 23 has treated you okay. Or at the very least, life has treated you okay since the last time we've, chatted. Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, to be fair, it would be difficult for 23 to be worse than 22, just by the nature of events that I had to experience with that. So, I mean, I am optimistic that this year will be pretty decent, but simultaneously, I said that previously, going from 21 to 22, because I thought 21 was bad, and 22 was even worse. So, let's just move away from that anyway. But I mean, always good vibes until stuff is just matter-of-factly not so hot. In the immediate present, things are very good, and that's the important thing. You've been good so far? Happy to hear that. No ether for this segment, so I'm probably gonna have a rough time. Who knows, though? I have had good Power Wild segments without an ether, it's just they're very uncommon. Ah, shit. Thank you for the heal. Thank you, Donald, for the thunder as well. Lack of MP is making this challenge to get through right now. Shit. Yeah, pretty bad treehouse fight. Thankfully, Tarzan coming in clutch with those heals, so hasn't been awful, but I definitely am losing time on this segment. Ah, shit. I hate this. Wow, Tarzan with the fucking Chad swipe at the end there, did you see that shit? He's like, oh, these two dudes picking on you, watch this. And just bam, deleted. Tarzan kind of being a homie during that Power Wild segment, I appreciate that. Considering I had no ether, could have been a lot worse, so we take that. Oh my god, please. No! Oh, I thought I died. I hope I don't drop a combo or I'm gonna die for real. Okay, now I die again. Please. Okay, wow. Amazing that support didn't get away from me there either. Jesus, this deep jungle has not been playing very nice to me. This is fine. This is not a good deep jungle, but the run's still okay. Yeah, deep jungle really wants this run to falter, but I'm not letting it happen. If you get a 0 pause, but you pause an extra time before that, is it really a 0 pause? No, I don't think so. It's like one of those, if a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, does it actually make a noise? Questions of life. Okay, we're all in agreement that it doesn't count. Okay, good. There's that, because I was like, nah, that is nowhere near satisfying unless it's the first attempt. I don't count? Dude, that's a mood. Yeah, counting's overrated. God damn, dude, we've been popping off with the Claytons lately. That would have, like, tied my best segment, previously. If I didn't just best segment that fight, the previous run. I still can't believe how good that other Clayton fight was, though. Because I dropped one of my magic casts and extended the fight a little bit longer than I wanted to, and it was still a blue split, like, Christ almighty. The Clayton fight's really fun to do fast, as long as you don't get interrupted by the terrain, but given how much of a massive monster Stealth Sneak is, very hard for that not to be the case when you put him in the corner like that. Like, I think the best case scenario would be if you were able to shove Stealth Sneak into the far right of that invisible, like where that invisible wall is, and then Clayton's just to the left of it. And when Stealth Sneak is maneuvering over, like, he kind of pushes you and Clayton, like, away from that corner, so there's that other tiny space to the side that you can hopefully not interfere with the environment going forward as well. But you have such little time to set up where Stealth Sneak actually goes upon doing the animation skip that it's not really... Like, just getting him into that corner or that area in general is good enough, and you just have to kind of, you know, just grin and bear it. Tiny little standing podiums there, cliff sides, whatever you want to call that. A little bit intrusive, but gotta make it work. I hope Wonderland treats me decently, because I could do with some of this time saved. Plus 20 is a little bit high this early on. You me saying that I need to learn this game. I mean, it is pretty chill once you get the hang of it, but I don't know if level 1's a good starting point. I think beginner mode might be more friendly with that. But it is a chill run, and it's not super duper hard. At least not until you get to, like, the really optimal stage of it anyway, like any speedrun. I got hit. That's not good. I will always be an advocate for people picking up KH1 and trying it. Whether they enjoy it is an entire matter separate, but, you never know. It's easier to get into than KH2, I would think, just because it's not as super technical. Not that KH1 doesn't have any technical stuff tied to it, it absolutely does. But it's also much more new runner friendly than KH2 is. That being said, people should run whatever they want. But there's only like so many ways I can sell KH1. People who are interested in running it, you know? Always an advocate, but I will never be offended if people pass on it. Yeah, exactly. Majoris is much better at phrasing what I was trying to articulate there. Yeah, I don't have the best of memories with early game in Kingdom Hearts 2. I think early game KH1 is much easier. At least as far as getting runs off the ground. Like, I feel like it doesn't take me too many attempts to have at least something reasonable, whereas in KH2, I would always feel like, man, this early game really kind of chugs, and I'm not very happy with it. Like, on most occasions. Occasionally, I actually had a pretty decent early game for my standards, and I was like, cool. Unfortunately, I didn't really feel that very frequently. Whereas with KH1, I feel like a decent amount of the time. Even if the run's kind of mediocre, like, it's not bad, it's just not great. But a lot of the time when I ran 2, I was like, fuck, man, this early game kind of sucks ass. Easily my weakest portion when I ran that. Okay, well that's a start at least. Not great, but not bad. Also, my party didn't spend 5 years picking up money, so that's good too. One thing that I think really salvages 3 as a speedrun, regardless of what difficulty, is the movement in that game is fucking insane. I mean, it has some really cool boss strats too, especially in the higher difficulty modes, but H3's movement is something that I've always been very adamant about being one of the coolest aspects. Just being able to flow motion and air step and a bunch of other stuff to clear gaps that are normally not meant to be done, and other things like that are just getting places really quickly. Really does have that speedrun mindset, well, in mind, I suppose, when you're doing it, and it's very satisfying to chain it properly. Majoris is bullying you? Oh no. Why though? Lady loser? That's not a nice thing to say. I'll be like the tired mom who's like, Majoris, stop picking on Lady Luck. And then proceed to do absolutely nothing about it. Here's a fruit snack, I guess, I don't know. That camera was interesting. Okay, pretty decent Wonderland, if we take that. So it went from being about plus 20 to plus 8, so early game is not too bad. Yeah, KH1 definitely does have some technical stuff to it. But yeah, like was aforementioned, it is much more approachable, and the really technical stuff really doesn't matter too heavily until you get pretty far with it, I would say. Like, you could do relatively easier strats for pretty much the entire game and still get a pretty solid time. KH2 definitely does have a lot of that, like, you better, like, do it exactly this way, or, bad things. Whereas KH1, I think, almost, there's like a fuckiness to KH1 that I kinda like. Where it's like, you don't actually have to be, like, necessarily 100% perfect, but if you, are mostly good, you can still get away with stuff. And that's not to say that KH2 doesn't have its moments of that, I'm sure, but a lot of KH2 is rooted in specifically what you need to do and have your inputs be, like, perfect in a lot of fights to have it be done properly. It's just that KH1 doesn't have to be, like, that strict most of the time. It definitely does sometimes, but... I also need to run KH2 again to kind of refresh my memory, and then also see what's more modern type strats going forward. Because I'm sure that game is considerably different since the last time I ran it a couple years ago. Yeah, KH1, like, it's almost like the jank is kind of a positive in a weird way. I don't exactly know how to describe it. It's like, it's jank you kind of wish wasn't there, but you're kind of happy it exists at the same time. I feel like it's something you have to play the game enough to kind of understand what I mean by that. Like, don't get me wrong, it is frustrating at its worst, but it's also kind of amazing at its best, the jankiness, because it also allows you to get away with shit you probably shouldn't get away with, and that makes the run very entertaining. I really should have picked that up, but that's okay. Yeah, Dragon Mal is definitely, like, one of those fights. I also think Ansem 2 is pretty technical if you want to actually, you know, not get DM'd and have everything go according to plan. But even then, getting DM'd on Ansem 2 initially is not really a big deal. It's just survivability and knowing generally what to look out for and gaining experience with how enemies go. But Dragon Mal is definitely a good test to see how good your timing is with inputs and everything. It's one of the more difficult fights to perfect. I'd say in general, once you get to Hollow Bastion, then beginner mode really picks up and it stops being super friendly to you. But even then, certain fights like Maleficent, like the regular Maleficent and Riku 1 really aren't that bad. As long as you know, as long as you have reasonable speed and you know what to look for so that they don't do anything like super dumb. And Riku 1's just kind of a giant mess anyway. Because of how that fight is designed, it's not really that great. But Dragon Mal is the first fight in the run where it's just like, okay, we're really gonna start testing you. Good morning, Bermegia. Hope you're doing well. Yo, Supastani, what up, man? Nice to see you as well. I'm doing pretty okay. I hope you are as well, man. Sorry I missed you there a little bit ago. It's really interesting because there is actual stuff you can do to mitigate Riku 1, but it's just... ugh, God. He has possibly the most obnoxious counterattack. Well, he definitely has the most obnoxious counterattack in KH1. Aside from maybe Sephiroth's Fire Pillar. Just because there's, like, you really don't have a lot of leeway to work with unless you're doing, like, a very specific, set of combos, as well as having proper positioning, and even then, sometimes Goofy can kind of run in and stop him preemptively, and you can't really loop the fight reasonably. It's a mess. A lot of it is relied heavily on Goofy using Tornado in the categories where he has that available, and then in level 1, you just kind of hope your positioning isn't so bad that you just get beat up constantly. Riku 2 is a much better fight, thankfully, because the only part of the fight you have to worry about his lunging attack is in the first phase, if everything goes according to plan. But having that be Riku's only counterattack in the first fight is both, it's kind of a blessing and a curse simultaneously, because there is something to do about it, but because just the nature of the counter move, it's so obnoxious. Because I have had fights where I can actually effectively loop him for a long period of time, but it's also a case of it's not really that consistent, and if you get up against a wall, you have, like, no chance of realistically doing that. Whereas once you get to phase 2 of Riku's second fight, that fight is pretty consistent. Because he always does the spin around move instead of the lunge, which is nowhere near as obnoxious to deal with as a counter move. Have you heard about this cocaine bear? I really want to see that movie, dude. We were talking about it a little while ago, and I've heard about it, didn't actually realize it was out already, and I will definitely check it out when I have a chance. Going back to that whole, like, it's so absurd type shit that, like, I have to see it. Even if it's, like, not necessarily good or bad or whatever, I need to know what it is. I know the bear did cocaine, but I want to see what they actually did for a whole fucking movie. I hope it wins awards. Based on a real story, and apparently in real life the bear went broke? Damn. That's all I have to say, is damn. Recommend watching it drunk? Maybe. Or other substances, ooh. What are you trying to imply, good sir? Nothing, nefarious, I hope. Have I done cocaine? No. And I don't ever plan to. Someone just saying fuck everything and actually watching Cocaine Bear while under the influence of cocaine, dude. Gotta really immerse yourself in the movie. I do not advocate for that, by the way, don't do that. But you make your choices. Oh yeah, I know someone has, absolutely, but I'm not gonna be the person who recommends it. I feel like that would be probably a much better movie to watch when you're, like, high on weed or something. Or drunk, one of those two, but I wouldn't recommend anything else. Pablo Escobar. That would have been great. That's a funny pun. Yeah, I don't mean to make any light of the situation. It's just, you know, there's gonna always be that one guy who does it. As like an actual serious thing. No, please don't ever do that. If you want to get drunk or you want to get high, or like on weed or something, like that's up to you, but I would not recommend it at all. People think it's not really a big deal if they just do it once, and it's just like the start of a huge downward spiral for a bunch of shit. It's just very hard not to make comments like that and have it try to be innocuous when you know deep down it is like an actual deep-seated problem with a lot of people, and I understand that. Was it actually the nickname they gave the bear? Spoilers. I haven't seen it yet. Do you always have to sell gummy parts on level 1? No. Sometimes if you get an accessory drop. Which I had the opportunity to, but it compromised me not having a fast blue menu during alleyway, so I said fuck it. But I don't pick up the Mega Ether anymore in Merlin's house, which also gives you money on top of that, so I'm usually short a little bit by the time I get to Sid. But if a soldier or a Power Wild or one of the Elemental Heartless drops an item on my way from various parts of the run, then I just pick that up, and that usually supplements enough money for me to have enough. Oh god. I don't know if I want to see that movie now, Bandit Yoshi. That's quite the staggering review or interpretation. I definitely do want to see it, though. If I see it, I'll let you guys know. Dun 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 dun. Good old projection. If that wasn't something that was used so negatively in the world we live in usually, I would probably make more comments about that, but I'm gonna refrain. My brain is working, okay. I'm just like hovering in midair while I take a Latin shit and put a key on. Had one nerd that just wouldn't, like... Holy shit, my fucking, inputs there were not great. I'm glad I corrected that at the last second, but I got really scared. I stopped talking, that's how scared I got. That one fucking nerd who just was hovering over the pin, I couldn't go after him, because I would have risked spawning more Heartless, I hated that. Ugh. Anyway. I didn't like that. Oh, well, that's not good. Mr. Podman's not supposed to break the part twice. I knew that was gonna happen. My bad. I should have gone for a few more thunders before I actually did that. Meh. Very mediocre fight. If he didn't break apart twice at the start, might have been a little bit better, because that cost me like 5 seconds or something. Ow. It is what it is. As long as the run doesn't flat out die to the fight, then I can't complain too heavily, but man. This little moment from the start of Pod Centipede till the end of Cave of Wonders is pretty obnoxious. Not the most obnoxious, at least not in recent time, but pretty obnoxious. Ooh, wow, okay. I didn't think that fight was actually that good, but if the splits say so, I'll take it, man. Yo, Frezla, what's up, my dude? Nice to see you too, man. The cinema. I forgot that that was even a word. Damn. As good as that split was, I wish I went 0.1 seconds slower. I still would have gotten the best, and I would be funny number behind. Oh well, maybe next time. The movie theater. Thank you for the good luck, Frezla. I appreciate that. D. Hurry up. Yeah, okay. I was a little nervous I wasn't gonna make that in time. Nice. Genie! Man, I got this pattern again. Son of a bitch. Where's he going, man? He's going over there. Okay. I almost got hit by that boulder. That would have been not great news for me. Okay, well, Genie Jafar, kind of a meme. Hot Centipede, kind of a meme. Other two fights were good, so I guess that's fine. It's one of those mixed Agrabahs where I don't really hate it, but I don't really like it either. It's so weird, man. I'm confusing my previous time saves, like my previous PB's time saves with what I have now. And I have to remind myself that I don't really have much time save until I get to Hook. Or rather, more specifically, I don't really have much time save until I get to the pre-Hook fight. Because that could have been a little bit better, but... pretty much, Monstro through Anti-Sora. Like, pretty much everything from the start of Monstro until the start of the boat fight. Pre-Hook fight was pretty good in PB, so it's a bit of a stretch I just have to hang tough with. Mixed bag, Agrabah. Agrabad, because it's not the most fun speedrun world. Anyway. I'm hoping this is not another run that succumbs to LSB being another crappy fight. That would be something though, a PB followed by 3 consecutive runs where LSB is just like, nah, you've already done enough today, go home. And I'd be like, but I want to play the game. Why you do this to me? I meant to dodge roll one more time there, but I guess I didn't press, my giant thumb didn't, press the square button down hard enough. Oh well. There's always something about Chamber 3 skip that has like so much intensity tied to it, even though it's not really that major of a part of the run, major aspect of the run, because if I miss it, it's like 5 to 10 seconds, I'm gonna lose this split probably, which... I mean, that is a considerable amount of time, but it's like, for whatever reason, it's like one of the parts of the run I always get the most anxious about. It is very difficult movement tech to execute, but it's really not like that punishing of a mistake if you make it. So I don't know why I still get that way sometimes, especially when I usually get it. Yeah, in all honesty, thinking back, Monstro really doesn't have that many pathways to go. It's just that several paths end up looping back to the same chamber in pretty much any given room, but it's like when you really break it down, there's only like, what, 5 or 6 rooms in the main maze part of Monstro, so it's not really that bad. But I mean, I can understand why it's frustrating, especially if you play this game when you're younger, but in the grand scheme of things, Monstro is really not that complicated. Although, like I said, the first time playing the game can be obnoxious just because you end up going in circles for like several minutes before you happen to stumble upon that one door that actually takes you further along, but I feel like that sort of progression is pretty common in KH1 anyway. Deep Jungle, I feel like, is kind of worse in that regard. That sucks. Well, I'm losing time here. Man, my man said I'm gonna get stunned once, and if you can't do that again, or you don't like that, then you can take it up with my manager. My man is not getting staggered another time for the rest of this fight because of the I'm kind of in right now. And that sucks. I am losing so much time. Except right now, he'll get stunned, but Jesus Christ. I've not had such a disastrous Parasite Cage 2 in so long, my guy. Holy shit. That was so awful. That's disappointing, man. All it takes is just one combo to be dropped and you lose like 30 seconds. I can't believe that shit. I got the fast start to the fight and everything too, but he literally just would not get staggered again after that. Unfortunate. Can't really do anything aside from just try to make the time up. I could make that all back in one singular split, 2 singular splits, 3 singular splits even. But the hard part is not losing any more time before we get there. It's just, it sucks. Why does that happen when you do the finisher and it goes up top? It's because I didn't time my jump input correctly and I'm too low to the ground. In Sora, when he's locked onto Parasite Cage, and he's standing on the floor, he will leap high up into the air to attack the head of Parasite Cage. Yeah, it's a grounded attack. So I miss my timing a little bit there with the jump, and he ends up doing that, which is actually something I try to do intentionally when I have a full set of MP to blast him with, like damage storage fires, but that one time it happened was an accident, and that sucked. I've come to accept Cage to Atlantica for what it is, and I still don't really like it that much. And I honestly still do prefer Cage 1 Atlanticas, because I at least feel like I'm doing something, despite the handicaps that they kind of like artificially put on you in that world, and the layout in general is kind of annoying. And the swim controls really aren't that great. But simultaneously, at least Atlantica isn't as problematic with the issues. Honestly, I think the worst part of Cage to Atlantica is you can't pause the songs without restarting them. Like, I don't know what they were thinking of allowing you to pause the fucking song, and like the only option is either to start from the beginning or you quit out of it, or the help tutorial thing, I guess. Like, why is there no just continue the fucking song button, dude? If I like had to be actually objective and not just like say like Mimi Song World sucks, like that's really stupid. Imagine like you're halfway through a song, you had to pause because something came up and you have to fucking redo the first half of the song again. Is that actually a part, like a reason for that? Is like to potentially not be able to cheat the songs with your inputs? Because that's I mean, I guess that would be an explanation, but that is such like a silly countermeasure to that if that actually would have been the case. I guess that's the best realistic explanation for why it's the way that it is, but that's still so silly. Yeah, I hope not either, but I hate that your theory makes sense. Because that's like the only reason I could understand why they would design it that way. Unless they literally just forgot to put a continue button in there. Something with desync? Maybe. I don't know, it just seems very strange. Point of the matter is I just don't really enjoy Atlantica in 2. And that's okay if people do, because I'm a responsible person who will not get angry over one small opinion that has no impact on anyone's lives. That is true, not having to actually replay the songs, like, all the way through again is a nice little thingy. And I will say, categories that you do have to do Atlantica for criteria completion, at least you have some bathroom breaks thrown in there for your run, so... If you look at it the right way, it's not all bad. It's just that, in general, it's not really anything that's special, I guess. Well, actually, quite frankly, I think it is special, but maybe not in a good way. Ah, shit. Ooh, I just saved an ether. Eyes emoji. I think I actually remembered hearing about that in regards to Rando, to some extent. Actually, maybe it doesn't work in Rando, but I remember, like, from people experimenting with, like, having stuff they shouldn't early. And there's, like, some really weird thing, I think, where you can advance the world state without actually fighting Ursula. And you can seal Atlantica's keyhole, like, really, really early. I think I remember hearing that. I don't remember the exact description of it, but that does seem familiar. Which, that'd actually be very fascinating if that would ever potentially be useful for something down the line, but who knows. Like in a hypothetical world where it actually does become viable somehow. Yeah, I think I remembered hearing that. Yeah, that'd be crazy, man. It would turn it into, like, a world about as long as Wonderland, or maybe even faster, potentially. The only downside is you wouldn't get gravity from Halloweentown, which is kind of a big deal for late game. Although, if you saved enough time by being able to do that, maybe, some other kind of thing would be thrown in there to compensate for it, but I kind of shudder at the idea. That would be massive for all worlds, though, absolutely. And JJ on top of that. Come on, you idiots. I think I just defeated Locke by parrying a fucking rock back in his face. That was funny. Even though that kind of was messy toward the end, I will say it feels a bit cathartic to defeat Locke by throwing a rock back at him, because I think that's how I died on one of the attempts there. There would also be like a small sensibility of, I guess, maybe a tinge of disappointment though, because it would cut out a lot of the cool parts of Atlantica that make it interesting, although we'd basically be replacing the clip, the dolphin clip, to get to Sunken Ship with, like, you know, the clip that skips pretty much the entire world, so I mean, I don't know. I guess it just depends on what the value of it would actually be, but it would be very fascinating either way to show it off. Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those things that makes the run faster, but doesn't necessarily make the run better, you know? Also, holy crap, the orbs. Genie really went hardcore with that. I remember there was a point in time where you Majora's Mask used to have an 80% where you basically played the Song of Time like 37 times to have like an overflow to go grab the items you needed, and then just go right to the end of the game. And it's like, yeah, that's a lot faster than actually doing like all the dungeons and getting the stuff you need to finish the game, but that's so fucking boring to watch. Ideally, you don't trap him within the same platform, but I just rushed and wanted to see where he ended up, and I didn't really have time to check that. So ideally, he's on a different platform, so other stuff, like him being partially immune for a little bit, doesn't happen. That was a little funky. Okay, thank God that fire actually killed. I got a little bit scared there. Not the greatest. Oh well. That fire, like, got like a millimeter away from my back before I destroyed that last glob. That kind of spooked me a bit. Yeah, that was a little dicey because I didn't have the MP since I was down to like literally nothing to revive Goofy. And Goofy usually shows up there and does some pretty big damage on the glob with his shield charges there. And yeah, I got a little bit messy because I had to kind of go out of my way to heal and all that stuff. So that was a little bit messy toward the end, but thankfully nothing really stupid came out of it. I should have done a few more combos on that glob that's on the side of the house, like on the wall, and then that would have circumvented that issue. Yeah, the dev menu thing, sorry. I kind of forgot I was talking about that because the house was scary. Yeah, now they have arbitrary code execution, which basically allows for you to do cycle 1, you do some weird stuff at the start of cycle 2, and then you basically load the ending cutscene and beat the game that way. I think is what any percent actually is now. A lot of people, what's it called, err on the side of doing no major glitches, which is basically like an all dungeons run, or glitchless, which I feel like are much better runs that showcase the capabilities of that game as a speedrun. Especially glitchless, I love some of the interesting tech you can do that isn't against the actual rules of what is considered a glitch. And essentially getting to other parts of the run, or doing the run in it's like a very speedy, glitchless playthrough, but utilizing certain things that normally you shouldn't be able to unless you move like insanely fast throughout it. Something I might actually look into at some point. Yeah, you need to defeat Oogie Manor to get gravity. The only other spot in the game you can get gravity is from doing Fill Cup or Hades Cup. So if we were to skip Halloweentown entirely, we would get no gravity for any percent in the hypothetical sense. In the hypothetical stance that Atlantica actually becomes a faster world to complete, it would probably make late game a complete nightmare. I feel like the visit would have to be extremely short for that, though. To skip OC outright, because I mean, the trip to OC is only like 2 minutes, I think. I know, like, you lose like 15 or so seconds from doing the other Gummy routes. Potentially, I think, is where it's coming from. Or maybe even a little bit more than that, but it's like, unless it saved like 3+ minutes, I don't know if that would necessarily be worthwhile. What is this menu here? Put those things on Sora, please. Oh my god, I'm blanking so hard. Also, I definitely didn't do my math right when I was formulating that, but just the point being is that going out of your way for Thunder doesn't take very long, so it'd be surprising. That would actually be better as an alternative. That's not good. Okay, whatever, no big deal. Yeah, in the point where it actually does become a thing we can do, I would absolutely love to see the testing and the sciencing and speeding that would come from actually doing that. Like, I absolutely would not knock it until I've seen it in action, but I feel like it would really surprise me, essentially, if it actually became something that was worthwhile, just based on the setup it might take to even do that stuff in Atlantica in the first place, but who knows. I think it would be fantastic, like you said, and even then it would be fantastic for all worlds and extended categories anyway. That was a really weird start to this fight, man. Okay, sure. Please just die, dude. Come on. Oh, this is a slow boat fight. Yo, Liquid, what's up, dude? Thanks for the 64 months, my guy. Holy shit. 64 like the Nintendo 64. Oh my god. How's it going, man? Welcome back to the Mist Continent, and enjoy the emotes you can use on Twitch for the next 30 days still. I hope you've been well, my guy. Nice to see you. You guys get that, I guess, and sure. Oh my god, I got so lucky. Okay. There's no way you're like not already fucking dead, dude. I don't believe it. You have like no health left, right? Dude, how? I thought, how is that not enough damage? What? This game is so fucking bullshit. How? Absurdity. I am like actually like that did not make any sense how he still had health after that. I am so mad. One fucking hit, dude. You've got to be joking. I guess one more set of stop combos would have done that, but it's like that definitely felt like enough. Oh, so frustrating, dude. Either way. Yo, Carter, what's up, man? I think I saw another person say hi in the interim, but I didn't catch their name, so I'm sorry if I missed that. I'm almost wondering if some weird shit happened with my party members' attacks that might have messed that up a little bit. I don't know, that was a little bit confusing. Like, I was starting to get excited because I was like, oh my god, dude, this split's gonna be fucking amazing. And I mean, it wasn't terrible, but that's so disappointing because I thought I was gonna get a blue and I only saved like half my time. Yeah, I usually just wait until I see him unstop and then go for it, but I wonder if there's some weird thing where it might not actually get fully calculated as all being finisher damage until like a certain point after he stopped or some shit, but that's still very weird. No! Ah, I'm sad. Okay, maybe not. Okay. We just saved a lot of time there. I see, okay, so maybe delay your next set of combos like by half a second or something. Right at, like, maybe don't go as soon as you see the stop then. Yeah, and then I heard the Blue Rhapsody despawn, so I knew that it wasn't gonna be much of an issue, so I went from being really bad to being not too bad. Okay. That's a time save. When no nonsense happens, that split's usually not that bad. He broke apart already? Oh no. Please, can I target the fucking foot here? No? Okay, cool. I'm kind of getting confused with where the hell everything is going with this. What a weird fucking oppo, dude. What the hell? I mean, sure, I guess. Like, whatever, but... that opposite armor really confused me. That was just kind of like Papega combo. And just hope for the best. I don't really know, dude. Like, I thought that was gonna be a bad fight, and then the splits tell me it was actually not that bad of a fight, so... I don't know. I kind of love how chaotic opposite armor is, generally speaking, but stuff like that is just kind of like... I don't know. Yes, you need to be on proud mode to do level 1, unless you mod in EXP 0 for the other difficulties, but without mods, yes, you need to be proud mode. Favorite Keyblade design? Probably Diamond Dust. I'm a sucker for the blue aesthetic and the sort of ice aesthetic that comes with it as well. Oh, I see what you mean. I've had a little bit of weird stuff happen though, where Peter's hummingbird like has an insane amount of attacks that are like lined up, and like the actual attacks don't quite end. So like I feel like I'd have to be waiting a tiny bit until I see that actual thing stop. So I don't know. Because I've seen this man, like, fly around the fucking arena for, like, 10 seconds before he actually stops taking damage sometimes, so, I mean, I'm not really sure what to go off of. Just finished FF10. Is FF10 too good or worth playing? Very good question. I will be the middleman and say I recommend you look at it for the first hour or so, and if you generally like what they're doing with it, keep it up, and if you're kind of turned off by what 10.2 is doing, then I'd say no. 10.2 is a fairly different game than 10, and it also may or may not make you, enjoy the characters and what they do with them in the sequel. 10-2 is fairly polarizing to people, especially people who enjoy 10 as a game. I would say that 10-2's combat is excellent, honestly, but yeah, the story is not good in that game. Which, I mean, I guess some people say the story isn't that good for 10 either, when you, like, really break down everything, but it was definitely a much more compelling set of characters and just motivations with a lot of stuff. 10-2 is really lacking in that field, I feel. But if you like real-time combat type stuff they have going on with 10-2, I'd say it's worth looking at. Essentially, don't go into 10-2 thinking it's going to be like 10, because it definitely is not. View it as its own individual thing, to the best of your ability. And if you're not really sold on it, then just kind of leave it be. But I feel like 10-2 is worth at least taking a look at to see if you're fond of what they're doing with it or not. I don't mind the game, I think it's fine, but I definitely prefer 10 over it. Like, I enjoyed it enough to finish it and do, like, extra stuff and even go back for 100% completion, because, getting 100% completion in that game is kind of a fucking mess, and I don't know why I do this to myself, but I haven't really played it since I've done that. So, there you go. Yo, GG Vane, what up, my dude? Y'all looking mad cute tonight. Oh. I shouldn't have. Well, we got another run to Hollow Bastion, boys. I just wish I didn't have the worst PC2 in the world. Run could realistically be about 30 to 60 seconds ahead by Hollow Bastion, if things are good all the way through. But hey, green is green. We take that. So here's a cool thing. I don't think I used an ether during Hook either. So I actually have extra ethers, which means I can do the 1 ether Maleficent strat. But my problem is I just have to remember exactly how to do it, but I think I'm gonna go for that this run. Yo, there's only Soup. What's up, my dude? Thank you so much for the 2 months. Hey, glad to have you back, my dude. Hope your mental keeps up. Me too. At the moment, it is very good. Welcome back to the Mist Continent, and enjoy the emotes you can use on Twitch for the next 30 days still. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, no bubble freeze, not in this category. If we move back to All Worlds or JJ, that's gonna change. But yeah, for the meantime, no bubble freeze. What do you mean there's only Soup? I don't know what that's a reference to. Unless that's just Sephi being Sephi, I can't tell. It's an amazing video. I know the good Soup meme. But I don't know, like, is that like a part of it or something? See me after stream. I am very uncultured in a lot of ways, to be honest, so maybe I can do some of that. It's one of the videos of all time. I see. Yeah, like the good Soup thing I've heard of, but there is only Soup. What do you mean there's only Soup? I'm kind of blanking on that. Anyone hyped for RE4 Remake? I am looking forward to it. It looks, from what they've shown anyway, it does look pretty, pretty top-notch. Like, I think they're really going and at it for all the extremes for RE4 Remake, so I look forward to it. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. Because RE2 Remake, I think, definitely did, and RE3 Remake, unfortunately, did not. I thought Village was pretty decent. And it kind of reaffirmed the whole, I look forward to seeing what they do next, and RE4 does look good. So fingers crossed it actually ends up being a pretty good remake. I think I remembered hearing a story that RE4 was originally going to be outsourced to the same team that made 3, and then because of the backlash they got from 3, kind of streamlining the story and cutting content, they started over, and what they've shown for what they're going to be releasing next month, I think does look pretty promising, so... Really depends, like the village part of the game looks pretty cool, but that depends on how they're going to handle the castle and the island going forward, which I mean, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the island in that game. I think after the castle it kind of goes down in quality a bit. But we'll see what they do with it. Send me the soup Discord DM, I'll check it later, thanks. Curious. Bad Riku. Well, could have been worse, but could have been a considerable amount better. We'll see how the Ether Strat on Mal goes, though. I actually think I prefer the village to the castle, but I still like the castle a decent bit. It's like if village is like here, the castle's like down here. So like they're relatively close, but the island is a very big dip from those two, unfortunately. But I mean, the majority of RE4 is very pleasant and fun to play, so I can forgive that, but yeah, it has a bit of a weak ending. But I mean, if the only like 20-ish% of the game is kind of mediocre and the other 80% is great, I can put up with it. Don't really have any complaints about RE4 prior to that point in the game. That is true, like the island does have some good moments, it's just unfortunately most of it's really not that great. Or at least not as memorable as the other two portions of the game. Oh no, I absolutely agree. I'm glad that they kind of took a step back and reassessed how they wanted to do RE4 Remake, because people pretty much already knew it was an inevitability. And, like I said, the stuff they've showcased for it so far does look pretty nice, so I look forward to it. U3 is that, weird, like, monster that you fight. You know, like, the part where you're going through the cages that are hovering above the pit, and you have to, like, you have, like, 30 seconds to get to the next thing over and over again? Like that part? Like, it's shortly before you fight Krauser, I think. That's what U3 is. It's like a boss fight before the actual boss, like, chapter boss. I see, okay. Need to wait, okay, so basically you're saying is I go too fast, okay. Where have I heard that before? It's a curse sometimes. But that is true, sometimes before you can go fast, you have to go slow, and that's what we mean when we say these things. Nice bright crystal, or shiny crystal rather, bright's from the defenders. Yeah, that's what I meant to do initially anyway. Or I guess, like, once I see him unstop, then I just do, like, 1 or 2 extra things just to make sure, but that's good to know. Probably work at that a little bit before I do more runs tomorrow. Because unfortunately, boys, stream isn't going to be too much longer, because it is getting kind of late, and we're pretty late into this run right here. But that's okay. Yo, X-Shrimp, what's up, my dude? Thank you very much for the good luck. Boys and girls, and non-binary peeps. Is my headset on backwards? Maybe. To be honest, I am not really sure. It's just with my setup, I'd rather have this cord be going towards where my computer is, so I'd rather not, you know, have it on the intended way because of how my setup is. Like, all I would have to do is just check and see what, like, R and L is on, and I could answer that for you, but there's a good chance that it probably is. I could also try to flick the microphone down, and that would probably answer my question, because if I can tilt it towards me, then the answer is no, and if I can only tilt it behind me, then the answer is yes, it's on backwards. Yeah, it's on backwards. I can tilt it backwards, but not front. That's funny. Oh well. Hey man, it works for me. No! Ah, shit. Please, bad. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Oh my god, am I gonna get away with it? Yes! Oh, I fucked up and then I didn't fuck up. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I dropped like 2 combos and I still got away with it. That is insanity. Let's fucking go, dude. That was so scuffed, but it worked. Task failed successfully. It's one of those reasons why I love this game sometimes, dude. The most stupid shit happens sometimes. I'll take it. Had to do an extra combo there because I miscounted, but oh well. I still can't believe that Maleficent fight actually went not too bad. I did a fucking grounded stop, dude. How? Did that even successfully work? That's so stupid. I did not deserve to have that fight be as good as it was, or have that split be as good as it was. I definitely did not play that correctly. I was doing pretty well until after I used the gravity and after I used the ether, and then it kind of started falling apart. And then I was like, I miraculously parried the fucking fireball the defender shot back at her, so I didn't get hit by that. Crazy shit. There's a lot of really silly things that I just barely escaped that allowed that to work the way that it did. I can't see. I'm getting owned, dude. Would have been nice to save some time there, but oh well. Well, who knows, dude? Maybe, I mean, I'd be surprised, but who knows? Maybe another PB could happen tonight. There is some time save in the next few splits, but after Chernobog, it's a uphill battle to not lose time, basically, so we'll see what happens. If I save 1 second, I'll be happy. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay. I'm just happy that I've gotten as good of runs as I have today. Like, it's hard enough even just getting some kind of improvement. If I got 2 PBs in level 1 in one night, that'd be absolutely fucking insane. Will he get the bonkless? Let's find out. Just barely. Ah, that was close. That was like the frame before. I feel you on that. If people got a dip before the run be over, I respect that. Can always check the VOD tomorrow. Had to sneeze, but it won't let you. I've had moments like that before. I like contort my face in a really stupid looking manner, and then just nothing happens, and then people are like, "What are you doing?" I just like, you know, I'm just getting possessed by evil spirits and shit, dude. It came out? Cool. Anxiety-driven sensations solved by your body doing natural things is always, relieving. I have had unironic anxiety from not being able to sneeze, even though I can sense it. I've been there before. Not saying you were anxious about it, but that's something that I've definitely experienced in the past. I think we've all been there. Just like for some random reason, you know, we just can't let it out. But let's not talk too much about this, it's kind of weird. Sounds like a personal problem. I am being nice, that's why I'm not furthering that. You know what's the worst feeling in the world? When you sneeze and then your nose starts being runny? Because it makes you regret sneezing in the first place. Lights make people sneeze? I don't know if I've heard of that before, but I suppose. I feel like the way the sun reacts with the human body could do a variety of things we might not even be aware of, so I'd buy that, to be honest, but I don't think I've strictly heard that before. Maybe. I never really thought about that. Is Remind a part of Cage 3 and you buy it, you can access it? I believe on console, if you still play it on that, it's two separate things, but if you buy the game on PC, it's all bundled together. Which last I checked, I think is kind of a rip, because I think you could get the whole thing, like, on PC for less price than, like, what's it called? Even just the DLC alone or something on console. I forget exactly, but I haven't checked that recently. But PC, Cage 3 is all in one, main game and DLC. I always find it a strange sensation when you have, like, multiple sneezes built up consecutively. Because most of the time for me it's just once in a while, but I've also had times where I literally sneeze like 5 times in like 20 seconds or some shit. And I feel like I'm dying because I can't fucking breathe. I hate that shit. I don't usually go on sneezing fits, but when I do, I feel like life is being sucked away from me. I guess that's one thing I'm not really looking forward to when spring eventually breaks, is just the fucking pollen in the air really does my sinuses dirty and everything, so... Cross that bridge when we get there. Like, don't get me wrong, I definitely prefer, you know, little allergy, pollen, sneezy, misty fits. Good description. Over having to bear the fucking cold for several months, but still, it's, always with the price, you know? There's always gotta be something there to compromise, something being better. I think that's why I prefer autumn time over, like, everything else, because it's, like, perfectly temperate, not too hot, not too cold, and allergies really aren't that much of a thing anymore, so I think autumn time is the best. To each their own, though. Can I have a Paufu? Sure. I don't know where I can find one, but you can have one if I find it. Unless you have it, in which case, that's entirely your decision. Plot twist. If I didn't get owned by pollen, I would have pretty much no complaints about spring, to be honest, but that's like the one thing that, ain't so hot. That's like, just because, pollen bullshit really isn't a thing in autumn. Or at least, if it actually is, it doesn't really seem to really be as prominent. I don't actually know if that's the case or not. Because, you know, I know things. I've lived life before, clearly. Oh my god, jump. Okay. That's Simba, by the way. Don't summon Simba from Behemoth. That would be very, very bad. Very slow. Very not fast. Yeah, dude. And then you have the really humid days when it's hot out, and then it rains, and then the humidity goes up to like over 100% or some shit. It's like the fucking worst. It's like summer is cool when it's like an actual decent day out, but it gets too hot and the humidity is too high up there. It's just, it's so nasty. Autumn is a good compromise for that. That was a pretty good damage roll that time. Ah, that finisher didn't connect. Well, I hope Genie kills Behemoth right here. Thank you. Okay, cool. Starting off the very end, not too shabby. I saw that one wave of orbs he threw and I was like, you know, I'm probably on a good fight right now as long as he just keeps that energy up, and thankfully he did. That's the most important slot machine not to lose, because the extremes in which you can lose time in that fight are absurd. So if Genie is only good for like one fight in the run, that's the fight for him to be good at. Which I think he was good on Oogie as well. So I hope he carries that energy into End of the World.
Mist cannot skip this cutscene because this cutscene is an unskippable cutscene that he cannot skip because it is unskippable.
Why can't you skip the cutscene, Mist? It's funny because, I think it was, what, 2 days ago? When we were like a minute and 13 ahead of the 2:09:33, I think it was. And then I lost like 30 seconds to the first Behemoth, and then I lost like another 20 to the second Behemoth. So I would say for the most part, Genie has been good, but I have had a run or two where he just absolutely chugs and, not so good. I went from -113 to -15 in 2 splits. It was really exciting. But that's in the past, and we ended up getting a better run than the 2:09:33 anyway, so it's a moot point. But yeah, Genie still has his nonsense he likes to pull when he feels like it. Haven't seen the new Final Rest yet. Are you doing it this run? Yes. And hopefully it isn't a complete disaster, because honestly it does get me pretty nervous when I actually have a decent run making it there. So we shall see. I honestly couldn't tell you, because that really depends on what you're comparing it towards. Because ideal fights with Genie in the first fight is he defeats Behemoth before he disappears. Ideal fights with, what's it called, Oogie, he does in 2 damage rolls. Ideal fights with the second Behemoth, I believe, is 2 damage rolls as well. And then if he's really cranking, he can actually 1 damage roll the last Behemoth because of the setup you have going into Final Rest. And those, I think, are the ideal scenarios with Genie in this run. If you can actually defeat enemies a cycle sooner on any of those given fights, I'm blanking on that, but I think those are the ideal circumstances, which are the best case scenarios. And then again, you have to say, comparatively to what else would be like the perfect Genie versus something else, so I couldn't really perfectly answer that. Holy crap, that was really good. Nice. If Genie behaves, I might actually save all of my time here. It was way faster than PB. I'm glad people still appreciate the wiggle emote. Maybe we can get animated emote number 5 in there sometime. Thank you. Nice Omega Arts. Don't pick that up. I don't need it. Well, goodness, dude. So long as this split goes relatively okay, we'll have decent leeway going into final fights, or like last part of the run, which is really strong, so fingers crossed. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It is what it is. But I am aware, it's going to be very difficult to not lose time once we get to Final Rest to the end. Most things were very good. Like, I could easily lose, like, my entire lead in just a couple of splits with how good my ending is, so I'll have to wait until we get there. Yeah, that was a very good segment. I'm a little bit concerned because I see Mr. Defender walking towards me, which is the failed dice roll of a 50-50. And if I stun right here and he shoots a fireball after he gets unstunned, I may get hit out of this. Oh, you bitch. Okay. That fireball is dicey, man. You're not exactly sure where it's gonna end up until it goes away. Oh, God. That scares the shit out of me every single time. I think it's dependent on how much the defender is able to move forward before you get the initial Simba cast off. But sometimes he gets just close enough where that hits you and it completely fucks your room up, so thank God that didn't hit me. Oh, absolutely, Majoris. Yeah, it's instances like that where I'm thinking, 2 tick for life. Ah, shit. Just leave me be. It's okay, Mr. Invisible Man. By Ralph Ellison. I don't need to use an ether. I'll have enough MP by, what's it called? By doing a normal 3-hit combo here. Yeah, I read that book in high school. I didn't really like it that much, though. It was part of the curriculum. It's been a while, though, so I've kind of forgotten what it was even really about. I just remember, like, the main protagonist, like, didn't have a fucking identity or some shit. Yo, Dayneva, thank you very much for the raid, my guy. Hope Stream was good, fam, and all of that. Thank you so much, and most importantly, I hope you were doing well tonight as well. Yeah, Animal Farm, I appreciate. I didn't like it when I read it initially, but I appreciate it later. And I also enjoyed 1984, but I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. Orwell has written some compelling stuff, though, and I don't mind him. So, like, I think I read Animal Farm in, like, freshman year, and then I read 1984 in senior year. And I enjoyed both of them. Or at least I learned to appreciate them later, either way. That... And these, okay. I have extra ethers, dude. Maybe I should throw them on Goofy, but... no, we don't need to. Oh my god, please. I was about to try to summon Mushu there for a minute because my mind went blank. Oh my god, what a dumb mistake that was. Actually, it was Atlantica Terminal because one of the sheltering zones broke apart because somehow Party defeated the last bit of HP before my 6 fire went through. It was stupid. Something that, like, never happens, but it did last run. I was like, are you kidding me? Okay. Genie was very good this run. Now we have to wait and see what happens. Mr. Darkball, sir, you need to die. Thank you. Distribution of damage was not very good with that. Whatever. Not usually where we go with that, but sure, why not? Oh, fuck. That should be fine though, whatever. Just die, please. Okay. Pretty mediocre, honestly. Like, I'll lose some time here, but at least, I got away with it. I'll probably lose like 10 to 15 seconds, but that's fine. I guess those invisibles were spread out more than usual, because, like 2 or 3 of them survived despite that, and that's not normal. Oddly enough, Angel Stars were actually really controlled compared to the Invisibles. The Invisibles gave me more of an issue, which is not very common with that. Why am I holding my breath over here? I don't know, dude. Sometimes runs just kind of do that to you. You really hope it makes it by the end. It is very intense, but that's kind of why I enjoy speedrunning so much, is it gonna make it? Is it gonna do it? Is it gonna make it? 157 final rest, probably the first ever. That's cool. Well, maybe not for, in general, but for level 1 anyway. Obviously, a 157 final rest has been achieved in other difficulties. Not that that really matters, though. Well, you beat me. Watch this be a 208 flat? It won't be. It better not be. There's a better way of phrasing that, but there's no way it happens, dude. Shit. Let's go. Okay. Good fight. Was really concentrating on that one. Okay. Just don't do anything rash. That's all I can ask of myself for this, and just focus. Hopefully that counted. I'm really nervous. I don't know if that damage storage counted, dude. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, it definitely did, because he wouldn't be doing this next move here if it didn't. We're fine. Okay, good. Whew. I was like, I definitely saw the start of the finisher, so I think we're good. But that was very scary prospect. Hit me, please. Oh my god, please, dude, what the heck? Slow! Oh well. Oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh, that's too bad. This and Dark Ball I'm very concerned about because they both went well in PB, so fingers crossed. Eh. Pretty good. Not as good as PB, but pretty good. Ah, shit. Shit. That's a lot of dark balls, dude. Goofy, please wake up. Like right now. Yeah, no 207, but that's okay. I didn't think it would be, anyway. No, bad. Waste of MP, why did I do that? I should have done a few more fires and it would have been fine. Whatever. Cool. Now I just have to do Ansem 4 DM skip and hopefully not screw that up. So we'll see what happens, dude. I almost fucked it up last run, so I'm a little bit nervous, but hang tight. No dice, dude. I have to do risky Ansem because I screwed up. Goofy's dead. Well, this is very dangerous now. So, pray for me, because 208 is basically gonna come down to RNG now. That's too bad. Alright, here we go. That's such a shame if I don't get this. Let's go! Oh my god, what a crazy run. Oh, yes, baby. Oh, it was meant to be, let's do it. Oh, I fucked up Ansem 4, but it didn't fucking matter because we're still in there. 208.45, fuck yes. World's first 208 and it was with the scariest ending ever. Okay, that's good. These splits will be a lot less worrisome because World of Chaos was not the greatest, but it was good enough, man. 2 world records in one night, what a fucking nutball. Nutball of a runner he is, actually crazy. Now we can just sweep 209 under the rug and pretend I didn't get that. Thank you, Like Kyrie, for the 200 biddies. 207 tomorrow. Oh my god.